All right, guys, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. I'm Mark Loeffler, and again, welcome to my channel. And today, if you guys make it all the way to the end, we're going to talk about all the different ways that you can invest in real estate. It's so diverse. So when you hear of somebody that's a real estate investor, or they're doing this, or doing that, there are so many different ways. And I'm going to try to take you through all the ones that I know of, all the ones that I've done in my past, and guys, learn from me. This is what this channel is all about, is learning from me. And I'm going to have some guests on every Friday. I think we're going to do Guest Friday. And so if you have somebody you want to see that I can track down and get on here, I'd love to do it, guys. Anyway, so I guess the simplest is what? A buy and hold. Buy and hold. So we're going to buy a property, we're going to rent it. It's simple, isn't it? Well, or is it? Let's think about that. So what can we buy and hold? I can buy and hold I can be like Matt Piche. Matt Piche, he buys single family rental properties in the Kitchener-Waterloo area. That's his gig. That's what he does. That's what he teaches. That's his strategy. It works for him, right? That's one strategy. What are some other strategies? So you can buy a single family residential property. You rent it to one single family, and guys, is this a viable strategy? 100%. If your goal is simple, easy, no hassles, it is the simplest way to make money in real estate. And you can make a great return. You can make 15, 20, 25% a year just on single family properties. No headaches. You don't need property management. Your systems and models that you need for between that and multis are minimal. The next step up would be like 2 to 4 unit properties, in my opinion. So obviously it takes a little bit more management, a little bit more work, a little bit more, you get tenants issues between people in the 2 to 4 range. And then you got stuff like student rental. And again, it's more management intensive. So students, you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people in a house. Sometimes they're all on separate leases. Sometimes you are, doing it on one lease. I'm not an expert in student rentals, guys. There's a lot of people out there who are. Go check them out. I personally don't like student rentals. It's too management intensive for me. One of the things I did do a lot, though, was rent to own when I was younger and I had more energy. And is rent to own good? So where's the work in rent to own? The work in rent to own is finding and approving that rent to own tenant. Once you have the rent to own tenant is the gold. They're really the investment. You're investing in that rent to own tenant. The house is kind of secondary. Now you obviously want to buy a good house and do all that type of stuff, but if you invest upfront with that rent to own tenant and they do what they need to do over that 2, 3, 4 year period, well, again, it's just like owning a single family home. There's going to be very little maintenance. They're going to treat it as homeowners rather than a renter. They're going to take care of the property. So ongoing maintenance is not that much work. The work is in the upfront, getting them approved, getting them working with somebody to improve their credit typically so they can be able to purchase that home at the end. And I mean, I did that all day long when I was younger because it was perfect for me to start joint venturing because I had this golden asset here of the tenant, and I could go over here to an investor and say, listen, we almost have a guaranteed return. There's no guarantees in life yet. If they do everything they're going to do, then here's our return. And by the way, if they don't, we have this asset that we can either rent out, sell, re-rent to own. We have options. So we've covered what? Single family residential rental, student rental. We've covered rent to own, which could all could be single family residential. Then we covered 2 to 4 unit multi-unit properties. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. You guys all get your own legal tax advice and do your own math, okay? For me, this is the highest and best return that I've seen of any asset class except for the big boys. This is the easiest entry. Almost anybody who's investing can purchase these types of properties. And you can make your highest and best return on 2 to 4 unit BRRRRs. So either turning a single family into a duplex, turning a duplex into a triplex, adding units, adding value. if the quickest way to grow your net worth. I mean, I'm not going to harp on this because I've already done a video on it before. So go check out that video. I'll link it in the description below. So with that, we have bigger multi-units. Multi-unit residential properties. For instance, like the 30 unit I bought in Hamilton, we buy, add value, and we rent out. Why commercial financing over residential financing? Well, number one, they look at me, they look at my partner to judge us for our qualification. Yet, the building is more important than we are. So they're lending on the building and then us secondary. So it doesn't affect how my financing on anything else. So I don't go and try to get an auto loan and they see 20 mortgages on my books and they say my debt service ratio doesn't work, right? And the other thing is obviously deployment of capital. If you have a large sum of money to deploy, doing it on smaller multi-units, well, you have to do a lot of them. And that's time intensive, and to find that many takes a lot of time. So honestly, it's just more efficient to do bigger multi-unit properties for myself, and most people graduate to that if they continue. If they continue to grow, like I'll link Quentin D'Souza's comment down below. He just built a 100-unit portfolio, and he's ramping up something fierce. Like he's probably bought, like he's got 30, 40 units under contract right now in multiple units that, I mean, the guy's just crushing it. I'll link his down there below. It's a long one. It's a good interview. Watch it, guys. We have mixed use. So you drive past them, you see the stores on the main floor, you see apartments above. Guys, again, if the numbers work, crush it, guys. Like this, like I have one building that has stores on the bottom and multis above. I mean, it's a great property. And we were able to add lots of value to it. If you're there, I mean, we own the building there at Ottawa on Main Street that Caro was in, the restaurant. Great restaurant. Come check it out. So what does commercial look like? Well, commercial is many different things. Like you have medical offices, you have like commercial plazas, you have office buildings, you have raw land, you have development sites, you have all these types of things. So, I mean, you guys want to play in the big dollars, you buy raw land, you get a company to do a build and rent, build and lease, and like those things are the ultimate burrs, by the way. If you want, you can make a lot of money doing those. All right, industrial, single user industrial, multi-user industrial. What other types of things? We can do storage units. Storage units are huge right now. Just before I started making this video, somebody on LinkedIn told me they're building a portfolio and would I like to invest? I was like, sure, I'll have a look at that. But make sure you watch my YouTube channel first and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Guys, I know I'm going to miss some here. And if I miss any, comment down below so we can all share in everybody's wisdom. Because guys, I don't know everything as much as I pretend to. I just know most things. It's okay. Another way to invest in real estate without ever owning a property is become a lender. So you can do this through your RSPs, cash, through a corporation. You can become a private lender. You can lend on first mortgages. Rates on first mortgages are 7 to 9% plus lending fees. And second mortgages are any from 10 to 16% with a couple percentage lending fees. If you're gonna so I've done some private lending. I used to have my rules. I wouldn't go above 85% loan to value. I would only lend in areas that I knew like you could actually sell the house for. I would do 1 year terms. I wouldn't lend more than $50,000 on one deal unless it was an extraordinary deal and there was like zero risk. And to be honest with you guys, I've had guys default, yet at the end of the day they were selling the house, and I got my money plus a little bit extra because they kept defaulting and didn't pay me. So I got extra fees. Yet, I mean, it was a good deal. I was making 14, 15, 16, 17%. And if you do it properly and you do it with the right team, then you shouldn't have defaults. So you can be a passive investor. What does a passive investor mean? You can be my joint venture partner. You can be a joint venture partner for somebody else out there doing the BRRRR. There's tons of people out there that are real estate experts looking for joint venture partners. Guys, if you're interested, and guys, I'm probably not the person, yet I can introduce you to people who are definitely raising money and doing this on a big scale that you can talk. You can invest in REITs, so publicly or privately traded REITs. You can buy shares in them, and you're buying real estate, and they either do residential, commercial, industrial. There are so many different types of REITs. There's medical REITs. There's so many different types of REITs out there, guys. The other thing is limited partnerships, so private placement type things where you have to be an accredited investor, and you can work with people doing the limited partnerships. That's what that storage company was. They're a limited partnership, and they're raising money through a private placement, basically. So the people who have been successful at being a full-time real estate investor, what I've seen is that they typically have done a couple things. So they're doing buy, rent, or refinances and using some of that money that they're getting back on the refinances to live until they build up a big enough portfolio that it's going to pay for them to live. And maybe they property management and charge management fees, and that's how they live. Fix and flip. The guys who are doing fix and flip, you can make, you can do 1, 2, 3 a year if you're good at it. You know your numbers, you know your trades, you're tight, and you're able to do it. Like I've seen guys fix and flip. That's what they do for a living. The other thing is student rentals. Like you can buy a single family home, convert it to a student rental, and you make great cash flow. Again, very management intensive, yet the guys I've seen that have retired, they manage their own student rentals, and that's their livelihood. Is it risky? I don't know. Talk to them. And the other thing is rent to own. So I retired, basically when I stopped working for anybody else, I was doing rent to owns full time. I mean, they had great income, they had great cash flow, and they provided me enough that I could do real estate full time at that time. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Again, it really helps if you can subscribe down below. We hit our goal of 1,000. Like the video, turn on that notification, comment. Thank you again for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great week, everyone.